Hi everyone, Outdoor Fabrications back with you here in a balmy little February we're having. Here it is. I'm in Western New York, okay, and temperature's going to be like 60 today. It's unbelievable what's happening. Like I said, if this is climate change, I'm enjoying it so far. Just saying, I'm liking it. But the weather's a little bit warmer now, and I've been thinking about, spring and getting back on the bike and loving life in the sun and hitting the road and barbecuing and grilling and all that. And I had an old compressor, air compressor, that I bought from Harbor Freight quite a while ago, and the electric motor on it finally gave out. So I went to go look for another electric motor and found out that, hey, you might as well buy a whole brand new one instead of just a motor, because it's cheaper to buy a new one than it is to buy parts. And before you ask, no, it wasn't just the brushes. It was a lot more wrong with the motor. So I bought a new one, and I was about ready to throw out the old one. And I remember a friend of mine builds these little tiny fire pits, and he builds them out of old propane tanks, little propane tanks. Well, this compressor had kind of a bigger tank on it, and I just thought to myself, instead of throwing that out, I think I'm going to build something with this. So I kind of went off his design, what he does, and I decided I'm going to put together I'm going to call it the vertical, the vertical fire pit. But I'm also going to make it so that you can do some grilling. If, just one or two people, something like that, you could grill some steaks, grill some chickens, hot dogs, ham, whatever you want to grill. And of course, I'm a strong advocate for, wood or charcoal. And this is just the perfect thing to do it. So I'm going to split this build up into a few different videos. But we're going to start with this first one, and I'll see you in a minute here after you see what I'm doing. Thanks. This is the compressor that I bought to replace the one that I'm tearing apart to make the fire pit out of. Basically, it's the same thing. The only difference is the one that I'm tearing apart had bigger wheels on it. I apologize, I'd lost the footage of what the original one looked like, but this is pretty much what we're starting with. I have this up here in my man cave right now only because it's really cold outside, and this does better if it's kept warm. So, if you're wondering, that would be my life-size Elvira. Is she gorgeous or what? Don't you love that? One of my more favorite wall decorations here in the cave. Okay, so we're moving along here on the air tank fire pit. That's the air tank that came off of that old Harbor Freight compressor. Shows you a picture of what one looked like. Cut all the stuff off of it here. Still have these little guys to deal with, but that's not going to be a big problem. I've pretty much stripped off, the compressor, the wheels, the leg stand, the axle, all that. I've kind of taken that all down. That old compressor, the motor on that's just had it, and like everything else, it was cheaper to buy a new one than it was to fix or replace that. So we've got this tank, and what I'm doing right now is we're going to put it up on this base over here. It's just an old rotor. I have no idea which one of my vehicles it's off of, but I tend to hang on to steel. I don't know why, but we've got that, and then I've put this is a piece of, I don't even know where I got this from either, but that's a piece of 6 3/4 inch pipe, and I've already marked it out. I put the wraparound on it. A
lot of people probably don't know what a wraparound is, but very handy tool for old timers. So rather than torch that, I want a little cleaner cut. I'm going to go over that with cutoff wheel. It's going to take quite a while, probably going to take quite a few wheels, but it's just going to give me a nicer cut. I'm going to take this piece and we're going to weld it onto right here, and then we're going to put that tank on top of it, cut out the opening, give it a stack, give it an airflow, and this should give us an overall height of right about 38 inches. If I've done my math and everything else correct, that's what it's going to be. So let me get to this, and we'll see how good I am. Okay, we're going to get ready to weld the base, or the stand, I guess, down on the base. I'm just using this old rotor. I cleaned it up a little bit. It's pretty smooth. That'll work all right. I don't know if you can see this, but I put a slight bevel on this. Probably make Jody over at Welding Tips and Tricks happy, but put a little bevel on both sides, and I've, you know, worked off a little bit of the mill scale here, and that feels pretty good. So we're going to weld it down onto there. Now, mind you, I'm not a pipeline welder, but you know, it's not like I'm putting the Dakota Access pipeline together here. We're just making a nice little fire pit. So I'll get back with you. So this should give you the basic concept of what I'm going for here. I apologize, it's probably pretty loud here, but we're having a hell of a windstorm right now, and it really you know, rattles the plastic on the greenhouse here, my greenhouse shop, which could be changing pretty soon. I might have some ideas going here, but you get the basic idea. This is what it's going to look like. I haven't you know, I haven't squared it up, I haven't leveled it up. I just wanted to see what it looked like. It's about 38 inches tall. That stand that you see right there, I cut it out of here. You know, not too bad. That's 1/4 inch thick, 1/4 inch wall. I used one cutoff wheel, so that really wasn't too bad. Those are the cheapy cutoff wheels from Harbor Freight, and I don't really have anything bad to say about them. But anyhow, there's your rotor, there's your stand. That's what it's going to look like. I think what I'm going to do is, you know, I'm going to cut this out here, you know, round it off on top, come back down square across. I'll have to make a stencil or something for that, but what I'm probably going to do is down in this area, I'm going to put a rack just to keep your, you know, it'll be removable, but put a rack right here, and that'll just be to keep your wood or charcoal up off the bottom. And then I think just inside the door, I'm going to put another rack in there, and that rack's going to be for, you know, you could put charcoal in this and grill your, you know, hot dogs, hamburgers, steaks, whatever you want. And of course, we're going to put I'll put a stack up there, you know, get rid of that little valve. This thing has these in the back. That was the air inlet and outlet for the, you know, the compressor. And I was going to remove them, but I think what I'll do, they're pretty close to the bottom. And with the rack in there, just a little bit above where that weld line is, you know, your ash will fall through. And I think if we just put a pipe plug in there, that'll help you for the clean out. And I don't know, I think this thing's going to be pretty neat. I'll get back to it here in a day or two, but I just wanted to get this up and let you see what I'm working on right now. I'm probably going to, you know, do the best I can on this, put this up for sale. You can call it a chimia, a grill, a fire pit. I don't care what you want to call it, but I think it's going to turn out really nice.
that's pretty much going to be the end of part 1. I've got, you know, we've cut out the base. We're ready to weld it up. Part 2 is just going to be me welding it together. It's no big deal. I wanted to point this out. I don't know if you can see this, but my youngest kid, little Tyler, I call him Little Joe, he's quite the little mechanic, really. 18 years old. He's going to be going to the University of Northern Ohio for diesel mechanic school here come August. Last of my children to get out of the house here. Me and the lovely Margaret, we're going to be empty nesters. But he went to a farm show. He's won a lot of competitions for high school kids mechanic stuff. I'm really quite proud of him. He's really good. And I don't know how well you can, if you can even see that. But basically I just etched out this little plaque for him. Because what he did was he went to the Western New York Farm Show, and he won the mechanic competition for high school kids. And in winning that competition, he got a really nice toolbox from Napa. A bunch of tools went in it. Did really good. And I just made that. We're going to paint that up, and I'm going to rivet that down to his toolbox. Did a great job. Really proud of him. But come part 2 here, I'm just going to weld everything together. And then we'll move on from there. So, as always, all I can say is subscribe to my channel. Give me some comments. I'm breaking this video up. I pretty much have the thing done already. But I'd love to hear your comments on, you know, how to make it better, or even what your thoughts are. You know, I'm open to anything here. So let me know what you're thinking, and I'm going to try to get part 2 up really soon. Thanks for watching.